What is up, guys? Welcome back. Good morning. Today we are working on the Datsun project, aka the Black Widow. Y'all know why it's called the Black Widow, because there's black widows in it. But today I think we are going to work on this. I feel like we haven't done enough on this. I've had it for a little bit now. I've been trying to put stuff together, trying to figure out a game plan for it. And I think right now what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna go through some of the stuff on the inside. I think I'm gonna clear some stuff out, pull some stuff apart. Might even take the seats out of it because they don't really need to be in there. And I think we're gonna get it ready to be sent off to Martinez Auto Body, Jay that does all of Mike's stuff. And so the other thing we need to do also is we need to pull this trunk off, this disgusting wing, change it with the other one, and kind of get it prepped to get out of here. I don't want it to just be sitting here. I don't want it to be a project that's gonna be a forever project. I really want this to start getting done. We already have a direction that we're going with the Civic. We know that that's gonna go off the paint pretty soon too, and I have the color. I cannot wait to show you guys. And so yeah, then we have to figure out this thing. I think the first thing we're gonna do with this is we are gonna bead blast the inside. So that's the reason we need to pull all the stuff out of there. We need to kill all the Black Widows still. And yeah, so let's get going. All right, you guys can see my plethora of parts. Yeah, that's right, I said plethora of parts that I have for the Datsun. I do need to grab, you can see there's the extra trunk with no wing, the way it should be. So we're gonna dig this out and then we're gonna swap it. All right, so here's the new trunk. You can see it's in really good condition. It was the neon yellow or blue or both, but there's not really a lot of rust. I think it's in pretty good condition. The holes here look okay. Might need to sand it down just a little bit to put it on there. But these trunks are super easy to swap. It's literally 4 bolts. And so we're gonna get that one off and put this one on. What, you guys didn't think that I was gonna actually spray it down and clean it before we put it on? All right, leave that out in the sun for a few. All right, come over here. We got our 12. Should be fairly easy to do. You can see it's just these. Get out of there. This one. Wow, I thought it might have been rusted on there. Not bad at all. All right, trunk off. Might clean these up just a little bit. Why does it feel so? Maybe that's just how it is. But we're gonna set the new one on, put this on, and see how it looks, because I'm really excited to see it without the wing. I know like it's a normal thing, but because I've only seen this car with the wing, it'll be neat to see it without it, the way that I want the body to start looking. All right, everything cleaned up. Kind of took the surface off of it. This stuff is gonna get painted, so I don't have to do a lot of wild prep work, but I just wanted to clean it up a little bit, make sure that everything here is good to go. So now we're gonna set the lid on and see how this looks. All right, now let's see. Much better. Give you guys a side profile. That's how the Datsun's supposed to look. I did not like that wing. So any of my Datsun guys on there, if you guys need a trunk, you'll have to remove the wing, or if you like the wing, I personally didn't care for it, but if it's something you like, if it's different, let me know. Hit me up, DM me on my Instagram, or you know, throw a comment down here in the comments and let me know. All right, so quick project number 1, all done. Next thing we need to do is I think it's time to bring out the lighter and the blowtorch, and I don't care. We're getting rid of these damn spiders, because when you look in here, they're still here, still creating a bunch of trouble. I'm glad they were here because it gave us the name the Black Widow, but it's time to get rid of the actual Black Widows. All right, what's up guys? It's a new day. After I started tearing apart the Datsun, I had a couple things I had to take care of, and then it got so damn hot that it was like, I'll come back to it later, and then things kept going. So it's a new day, we are back, and I talked to the painter, and he said that he is trying to coordinate with the guy that actually does the sandblasting to clean all this stuff up, to bead blast it down to the metal, and to you know, inspect for any cracks or anything that's going on. However, he doesn't have space right now, so I don't know if I'm going to tear this down any farther right now. But if you guys watched my brother Mike's video, he got his LOJ pan. You can see how beautiful this thing is. I think we are going to attempt to change this today. You guys know that with this project, it's been sitting because of the fact that we have a nasty ass oil leak. You can see it all over the pan because the welds on this pan are trash. And so probably for the last 15 minutes, I've been trying to figure out a game plan on what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna tackle it, and you know, make it be the easiest that it can be. Easiest meaning, you guys already know it's not going to be easy, but I do think I have a plan with this. Because the pan is so exposed, I think I'm going to be able to sneak it out by lowering the subframe. So I'm going to have to take off the sway bar, the struts, and then hopefully lower this down just enough to be able to sneak it out. The nice thing is that it is a front sump, not a rear sump, so getting it down this way might make it actually that much easier because the pickup is over here. So fingers crossed. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so here is the idea. This is able to hang the motor. You hear me and Mike talking about hanging the motor. And so I think what we're gonna do is we wrap a chain around this. We'll secure it to these bolt holes here and here, so it holds the motor up. The trans will be able to hold it in the back, and then when we lower the subframe, then at least the subframe will drop down, the engine won't have to move, I don't have to take all this stuff off, and hopefully have enough room to be able to sneak the pan out. My only thing I'm concerned about, you guys can see in the LOJ pan, I know the Canton pan is a little bit different, but because the pickup goes here, I think you have to like twist the pan to get it out. And so I'm really hoping that I have enough room underneath to be able to twist that pan out and lower it down and knock it out. So yeah, here we go. I had to stop the time lapse for a minute to get these bolts out because that one way back in there was quite a bear to get out. So let's continue. So all the bolts are out. You can see the pan is free moving now. I did this first because I wanted to see just how much I have to lower this. I didn't want to have to lower this like ridiculous, take off everything. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to sneak it out. I know I have to take out the sway bar, so I'm going to take off these and take off these end links and pull the sway bar out, so that way it gives me plenty of room to pull out. But like I mentioned earlier, the pickup is sitting way deep in here, and I showed you the baffle on the LOJ pan. We kind of had to like twist it to get it in, so I think that's going to make any complications with this, if there's going to be any. So I'm going to take out the sway bar now, and then we're going to try and lower the subframe a little bit. I got to take off the steering linkage and you know, the struts and the sway bar, and then if I take these out, hopefully I can lower this enough to get the pan out and we can swap it out real quick. All right, just draining the last little bit of oil that's in here because we're probably gonna have to tilt this pan pretty far forward to get it out. I do have the engine mounts off and everything off, ready to go. Only thing I need to do is put a jack up under here, and then I'm gonna take these bolts off and lower this down and hopefully get enough to have some space to pull this pan out. All right, so here you go. Snuck out this garbage pan. You can see right there, actually, there's a pinhole right there. This thing's a piece of shit. I can't believe this pan. I mean, look at the inside. Oh yeah. Well, at least it's out. Throw this thing in the garbage, turn it into a planter, set it on fire. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, but we need to clean that up, take the gasket off, clean this one up, make sure it's all ready to reseal, and then we're gonna put it back on and put this back together. All right, side by side comparison. You can see actually right where the oil was coming from. If I turn it, you guys can kind of see there's like a dirt outline along here. I believe that this was probably leaking also. I tried showing you the pinhole, the unfinished welds along here. I know it's a little hard to see on the camera. And then on here, if I back it up a little bit too, it's really hard to see, but you can see kind of where the dirt outline is at from here and where this was leaking also. So give you a comparison on the inside, the welds there versus the welds on in here. Much nicer, everything finished, painted. I don't think we're gonna have any other issues. I did change the pickup. I want to change everything on here, use everything that LJ sent me, and now we are ready to put the pan back in. And I'm excited to show you. Ooh, look how evil she looks on there. Everything fit exactly as it should, all the bolts tight, everything ready to go. Oh, I'm gonna wipe off my fingerprints. There we go, that's better. Beautiful, now it's perfect. So, time to put the subframe back in and start putting this thing back together. Back together in there, nice and tight. I do have to put the struts back on. I have to put the dipstick in. I have to clean up a couple things, and I have to put the sway bar on. But we are like loose. Can take this off and start putting this thing back together. Hopefully, we are done with all of the stuff, and we can actually start it, put it on the ground. Oh, I do have to bleed the brake still. But other than that, then we can put it on the ground, and I mean, this thing's gonna be pretty much done. So that wasn't near as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Kind of thought about it methodically and was able to get it in and out. All right, and that's it. We are completely back together. You can see I even have the sway bar. Everything's back in. That pan looks really good in there. Everything fits nice. I have no oil leaks so far. Nice and glossy. I gotta put oil in it, let it sit, see what happens. Praying, but everything all back together. So we're gonna put oil in it, and then we're gonna wrap this up because we need to get ready for the next video for later today after it's you know, cools down a little bit. So yeah, let's put some oil in it. All right, spill it all over the place. There we go, that's better. All right, so we're already doing better. Put that jug in, looking around. No oil leaks, no drips, no nothing. Everything's sealed tight. I haven't tried to start it yet, but you guys saw with the last pan, I didn't have to start it. I didn't have to run it at all. It was just dripping everywhere. So already better luck. I do have to top off the oil a little bit more. All right, so rest of the oil topped off. Give this one more look. I'm like paranoid now. We let the other engine sit and it just continued to drip oil until I emptied it all out. Looks like there's no issues here. Drain plug's tight. The thread seal is fine. No issues. I don't even want to touch the pan. It's too pretty. I don't want to put fingerprints on it, but no oil coming out of here. Perfect. So I think we're gonna let this sit. I want to give it like an hour or two, make sure that there's no problems, and I think that's it. I think we're gonna wrap up this video. Well, it's all done. I was dreading that, and I thought it was gonna be a much bigger pain in the ass than it was. After thinking about it methodically and actually having, you know, kind of a game plan on the way to go, it was able to drop out nice and easy. Thankfully, like everything, nothing got stuck, nothing got stripped, nothing got, you know, rounded off or any issues like that. Everything kind of came out, you know, really easy. And then I was able to feed the pan back up in and everything went back together easy. So yes, for that. Hopefully, now I need to call Mike over. I'm gonna have him help me bleed the brakes, and then we're gonna put it on the ground, make sure that it runs, that there's no leaks and all that. And this car is almost done, finally. I do have to do a couple other little things. I gotta get my 1/4-inch NPT fitting that goes off of here to the steam port. I have to get the fans, and I have to finish up the rest of the heater hoses and the wiring for the flex fuel. But other than that, this car has really not much more that needs to be done to it. Y'all are gonna see it drive soon. I'm gonna see it drive soon. Maybe I'll get to drive it soon, but you know, after Mike does, of course. But anyway, yeah, so I think we're gonna call it a wrap. Right now it's starting to get kind of hot outside, and I'm hungry. I need to go in and eat something. I'm gonna edit this video. I'm sorry you guys that I haven't had a video for, I don't know, I think it's pushing like 12 days now. So I know, I'm sorry. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. It's just been pretty big distraction and a lot of things that hasn't been able to put me out here, focus on what I need to be focusing on. And so that's why I'm stoked to be back, being able to do this. And you know, sometimes like life gets in the way. And so I'm not trying to, you know, dog y'all on the videos and not put them out, but sometimes I got stuff I got to take care of. And so, yeah, now we're back on that grind. I'm going to get this stuff going. And so I also have kind of an announcement for you. There's a guy, a good friend of mine that I've been talking to back and forth a little bit. He's got a super sick car. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I do want to introduce it. But I think me and him actually might start doing like stuff like this. He's another master tech at a dealership. And so yeah, you might get to see, you know, his face around quite a bit, and I'll introduce you to him. And you know, we gotta break him in. He's a little camera shy, so we gotta break him in a little bit. But stoked to be able to have you know, another helping hand, somebody that can look at stuff objectively if there's something that I get stumped on. And you know, he's actually a 2J guy, so he'll be able to bring a lot to the table. So pretty stoked on that. His name's Dominic. I'll show you guys in the next video or 2 videos, depending on when I can get him, you know, broken away from his job right now. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys have been well. I hope your families have been well. Much love to you. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I plan on taking a new video probably later tonight after the heat dies down. And yeah, let's keep this rolling. So I missed y'all. I love y'all. I'll see you soon. Peace.